Do we know what we're doing? No. Are we going to do it anyway? Yes. I'm your host, Alexandra Broxma, and this is First Time Energy. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me today on First Time Energy. Today, I've got Megan Pasker with me. She works at Hills Bank here in Cedar Rapids. And we're going to talk about a very real experience. Kind of one of those things where you think something is happening really casually, but then in your mind, you turn it into something that it's not. This episode stems from a situation Megan and I had where she invited me to go to drinks. And I convinced myself ahead of time that she was going to talk me into being the PTA president. Turns out no one actually asked that of me. And so I created this whole thing in my mind. So let's go ahead and get into that energy today. Megan, thank you for joining me. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. My
Yes,
first ever
absolutely.
podcast.
Okay, good. That's a perfect segue into the first segment, which is our first time check. You've already stated it's your first time on a podcast before. How aware of your voice are you right now on a scale of 1 to 10?
Probably a 5.
Okay, so when you listen back to this, you're going to be like, that's not me.
Yeah. I feel like I sound like Marge Simpson when I'm on recordings.
Is there anything that you're nervous about today with it being your first podcast?
Not I know I'm not really nervous. I just don't want to look like a dork.
Yeah, okay, that's totally fair. Is there anything you want listeners to know before we dive into this? It's an unfiltered podcast. I will just tell you that right now.
Well,
So
that's
I'm
good.
giving you permission just in case you slip up. You're fine.
Okay, good, because I am a very unfiltered person and sometimes have a potty mouth. So just a heads up.
That's okay. Let's set the scene. So you and I know each other now, I would primarily say from the real estate world.
Yep.
But kind of ahead of that, I feel like we met each other maybe in passing. Our kids go to the same elementary school, went to the same elementary school. I do miss you in the school pickup
I
line,
know.
by the way.
I know. Same.
It's not near as exciting. No one slow rolls and rolls the window down anymore. So I do definitely miss you. But tell me, I guess, how you got into the PTA rule, leadership role at the elementary school.
Yeah, so I think I had a kindergartner and a fifth grader at the time, and the president, everybody was kind of rolling off, and I volunteered a lot anyways, and it's in that PTA world, it's kind of if you volunteer a lot, then you should be president. Nobody else was really wanting to step up, so it was one of those things,
Weird.
unfortunately. Yeah. I'm a people pleaser, so I was like, okay, yeah, I'm going to do this, which was great. Then COVID hit and nobody else wanted to ever fill that role again. And I've enjoyed my time there. I got to know a lot of people, teachers, etc. I got to get into the building.
Clarifying question. How many years were you PTA president?
4 or 5.
Do you feel like that's more than the normal person?
Yes, it's supposed to be typically a 2-year term, but we just couldn't fill anybody. With COVID though, it wasn't as much work. And then finally I just had to say, guys, this is it. I'm done. I have to move it to the next group.
And I feel like this is where our story starts because I feel like maybe I heard you say something like that in passing at the school. Like, oh, hey, Megan, I recognize you, right? New to the industry. And I feel like maybe that was one of those things where you were like, yeah, I'm PTA president, but I'm on my way out.
Yeah. For like 2 years I said that, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And the only
So,
reason I say that is because I wanted to get more involved with McKinley, but I was
okay.
stuck at Erskine. So it wasn't
Yeah.
necessarily that it was a bad thing. I just wanted to take my time and shift it somewhere else.
Yeah. And that's totally fair. So then the way that we've really built a relationship is a lot through what we do with work, which is real estate related. And for the listeners that don't know, the lenders and the real estate agents work very tightly together. And so it was one of those things like, hey, it's probably going to be beneficial for me to know you and beneficial for you to get to know me. And the way I remember this going down is that
Clearly
you
different
invited
than how
me.
I do.
Two sides to every story.
Yeah.
You invited me out to drinks to LP, local poured street food here in Cedar Rapids, and I very specifically remember telling my husband, "Okay, I got invited to go to drinks, but I was calling you the PTA president and then lender second, right?"
Yeah,
And so I'm
yeah.
like, "Okay, the PTA president has invited me to go to drinks. What if she asks me to be the PTA president?" It's the only thing my mind could think about, and I don't know, do you ever watch, like, King of Queens? Have you ever seen that show? Okay, so, it's a show with Kevin James and, shoot, I can't remember what her name is. She was in the Scientology thing and she got out. Leah Remini. And, they go to a ski resort for a weekend, but they know going into it, it's a timeshare presentation.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so they talk about the entire drive up. They talk about it. They're like, we're not gonna get sold on this. No one's gonna talk us into anything. And then they befriend another couple. And as it turns out, the couple is employed by the ski resort for this timeshare. And they divide and conquer. Immediately, this story comes back to my mind, this episode of this show. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is not a timeshare situation. I am not going to be talked into agreeing to this. Okay. I'm not going to do it. So then we sit down and we get to talking, and I don't really remember all of the details of the things we talked about. Really, that was just a lot of us kind of getting to know each other.
Yeah, yeah.
My mind was like, oh my God, everything you're saying, I'm just like waiting for the shoe to drop. Do you want to be PTA president? No, I do not. Tell me a little
You
bit.
would be good at it, by the way.
No, that's a hard pass. No,
You could do it. You
I
still
don't
have
really.
time.
Yeah, I don't even really know. I'm gonna work. Actually, we'll talk about this later, what that plan is. If you find yourself in that situation, I will probably have to rehearse that myself so that no one asks me after this. But tell me, I guess, a little bit about when you got asked into that role, were you nervous about it?
Absolutely. And speaking of first times, one of the main things I was worried about with my anxiety is my first meeting. Like, I don't know how to call a meeting to order. Am I supposed to do that? Who does that? Who approves? How many approves? I mean, that was one of my biggest insecurities about going into being any kind of like president of anything and going to these meetings in front of these people who maybe have already been there before and are now looking at me like she's an idiot. She's the PTA president. And I'm also a president on something else right now. And I still sometimes now I'm just like, let's call a meeting to order. I don't even know if this is the right way you're supposed to do this. But again, we're all volunteers. So I'm just doing my best. But
Yeah.
that was one of my scariest moments of thinking my first meeting.
From my experience with the board of directors here at the Cedar Rapids Area Association of Realtors, I've learned a little bit about Robert's rules. Those are, in case you ever want to Google it, that's the formal process of like, voting and calling the meeting to
Perfect.
order and
Okay.
the
Yeah.
motions.
Yep. Yep.
I could nerd out on that for a minute. I won't. I won't bore everybody with that. But what was one of like the most challenging things? Like what did you have built up in your mind that was making you anxious about being PTA president? And then did it turn out to be true?
Probably just getting things done. I mean, you're ultimately the head chair organizer of all of this stuff. And there's a lot of events, fundraising, a lot of events that you hold on. And just the success of those events and making sure that I'm doing just as good as the previous person. That was another thing, too. Like, are they comparing me to the previous president? Like, is it
100%.
everybody looking at me like, this is terrible. I mean, they're killing it now. I know they are now, but when I was doing it, I did my best, but and we did really well. I just don't know if anybody ever said, she's not doing great.
Well, I seem to remember one of the things that made me nervous, and I don't know if you recall this. I'm pretty sure I told you. I'm like, I'm coming into this, and do not ask me to be PTA president because I'm gonna say no.
Hmm.
And I remember you going, no, but now we have Venmo.
You bringing that up? Yeah.
You're like, no, 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 it's so easy. Like, just tell people to donate, and they just throw money at you. Is
I
that your
wish it was
claim
like
to
that.
fame? Did you bring Venmo to the Erskine Elementary PTA?
I think I had some help. I don't want to claim it all, but the crappy thing is We were so desperate, we ended up setting it up like under my I think I'd used my daughter's phone number to set it up, and it was kind of a crapshoot as far as how we had it rolling. And then when the new people stepped in, same thing. We had to go through all this stuff. They were reaching out to me 2 years removed, trying to get this all figured out. We ended up doing it. Now I think they have a business Venmo page, which is awesome. But I mean, we made some progress.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I so appreciate the Venmo. Obviously,
Yeah.
I still have a child, one right now this school year at Erskine, and I'll have another one here in the fall. But it's been nice as far as like events go, and we have silent auction baskets. Look, they come collecting real quick
Oh
too, let me
yeah,
tell
they
you.
do.
They're like, just Venmo.
Yeah. Right now. Here's our link.
I
Yeah.
should be like, oh, Venmo, Megan did it. Megan did it. Yeah. Have you ever found yourself in a situation, maybe even in your job now, where someone's asked you to, or you maybe thought someone was going to ask you to step up to something, and then you're like, oh my gosh, thank God they didn't. Sigh of relief. Do you feel that way now?
Not really. I feel like the older I get and the more experience I get just in life in the business world, the less anxious I there's nothing I mean, recently I've first time home buyer seminar, and it
Mm-hmm.
was kind of one of those where our boss was like, "Hey, everybody's going to be happy to do this at some point." And I was just like, "Okay, let's sign up and get it over with then."
Sometimes I think that that's the best approach because almost don't have time to overthink it.
Mhm.
You just you can't overanalyze it. You don't watch what other people do and then try to like do something. You just create your own thing and run with
Yeah.
it. And I think that that sometimes works out for the best.
Yeah. And I overthink everything. I mean, even going into that first time home buying thing, which I've done, I'm like, what if they ask me a question I don't know the answer to? Or what if, and I'm like, really, Megan? These are first time home buyers that have no clue what they're, and there was one question that I answered wrong, kind of, but Stephanie was there, Carly was there, and they came in and, backed it up. So it
Yeah,
was fun. And it was
yeah,
fun.
and that's always nice too. Absolutely, when you have someone else to kind of help, just even just bounce things off of and take some of that pressure off of you. Have you done any other PTA commitments? So, like, you moved from the elementary school, did you sign up for presidency or volunteer for that in middle school?
Not in middle school. I didn't have time because pretty much by the time Ava was done through middle school, I was still at Erskine. However, I did sign up for a VP role for the athletic club at Wash.
Okay.
Naturally, then turned into the president role, of which I'm doing right now and rolling off in May.
How did the first time experience with the elementary school prepare you for your first time experience, or did it make it easier at the high school level? I would imagine it's more intense, right? I mean, we're
Yeah,
talking a difference of like 200 kids to, I don't know what Wash's enrollment is, but it's
yeah,
probably, I mean, maybe 200's even excessive for the elementary school at this point, but
yeah. I mean, definitely more intense. I mean, you have the athletic director there at every meeting. You have sometimes the principal comes, usually like a guest coach comes. So more intense for sure. But I think the vice president role kind of eased me into that.
do you anticipate yourself like, is it something you enjoy? Let me ask you that.
I do enjoy it. Frustrating. This year is tough because our daughter's graduating, work is busy, and end of the year for athletic stuff. We're trying, so it's really busy right now. I didn't really
Yeah.
want to do it when she was a senior, but that's okay. We got a lot of stuff going on. I do enjoy it. It does get the only frustrating part I would say is just volunteers. It always just seems like it's the same group of people
Yeah.
doing the same work, and so that kind of weighs heavy on you.
I have no idea what you're talking about. We never have that problem in the
Yeah,
real estate world.
yeah, right. Yeah, seriously.
Uh, Do you think that so you have a middle schooler now, is this something that you've enjoyed to the point where you would see yourself stepping back up when your middle school child gets to high school age? Or are you like one and done, I'm out?
I'm one and done. I'm out. But what I did say is I will still be heavy on the volunteer side. I just don't want to
Okay,
be in
good.
charge. I want to show up, and I'll have 1 year with my middle schoolers. So my goal is to be heavy on the volunteer and give my time back to them at least for 1 year since I haven't been able to yet.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. I love
Yeah.
that that sticks in your mind. I can tell you right now, I'm a Venmo parent. Um, I I'm happy to monetarily support all the PTAs, and all the initiatives. Don't mind volunteering, but sometimes I'm definitely happy to
Yeah.
maybe pay that problem away out of my
Well, that's what I've always said. I'm like, we need the Venmos and all of that because there's so many people. I've signed up to bring chips so many times and forgot or couldn't have time. So I'm like, here's the money. You guys go buy it, whatever you need to go buy. It's just so much easier that way.
Is there a, first time experience you are maybe nervous about? Like, have you thought about anything coming up? You're gonna be a first time college student mom. Like, how is that making you feel at this time of your life?
So Ava could have went to college 2 years ago and been fine, maturity wise, all of that. She's always been super mature for her age and like a mother hen. And I've never had to worry about her, which I've told her once how it's really refreshing with I have my own anxiety and not having to worry about her helps out significantly.
Yeah.
I'm not nervous. I shouldn't say that. I'm nervous for the nights out and all of that, but she's going to be fine. I'm just anxious for the times we go out as a family now of three and Ava's not there. I'm going to feel because she's going, she's going to be close to home. So we'll see her, but I'm going to feel guilty with her not, let's go out to dinner, let's go this. And now it's just three of us and not four.
Don't worry, she'll ask you for the money to take
I
herself out to
know,
dinner.
I know.
You can you can still have her at dinner,
She
just
will.
Venmo her while you're at dinner. Be like,
Yeah.
"We would have spent X amount of money on you, here you go."
And you know what? She would be the one that would say that actually. Say, hey, so I didn't go to dinner. So can I get that $25?
You know what? Dinner tonight, we had Taco Bell, here's $6.
Yeah.
And then the next time you go out to a steakhouse, be like, "Okay, we would have spent 30 on you, here you
Yeah.
go."
Which I mean, we'll see her a lot. So it's not going to be that. It's just going to be weird just being three of us now.
I was just thinking when I asked you that question, was there anything that you were anxious about or nervous about? A really good reminder that your children are obviously very different, have different personalities.
Uh,
Are you still worried that Max is barking at school?
oh, I think I told him to stop barking at school. It's weird and can be deemed as maybe disrespectful too, depending on who he's doing it to.
Yeah.
However, I did get a first call home a couple weeks ago from school on his behalf, which is weird because he's typically a rule follower. He pulled the chair out from underneath his buddy. I did think it was a little weird that we got a call home from that in
Yeah.
seventh grade boys situation. And it was one of his friends. I did say, had it been not a friend, then that could be looked at differently. So we would have had a
Oh, yeah, for
different
sure.
we would have had a different discussion. But the teacher didn't follow back up, so I thought maybe she just kind of sat back and was like, okay, this is normal behavior.
Well, your kids are both
Discipline.
really good kids.
It disciplined my kid at school. Do what you need to do with him at school, and reprimand him for disrupting the class. But I don't think I needed a call home for
Dad'll
that.
have him running up and down the hill at football practice, don't
Yep,
worry.
yep, he sure will.
That's so fun. Awesome. So, yeah, I'm so grateful, obviously, that I've gotten to know you over the course of the last few years. And I'm even more grateful that you did not, in fact, ask me to be the PTA president. I think sometimes I just get that, worked up in my mind about something that I just make it a bigger deal than it really actually needs to
Oh
be.
yeah, and then never happens.
So, yeah,
I'm grateful as
kudos.
well. My
What was
intentions.
that?
I said I'm grateful as well for our friendship, but my intentions was not to ask you about it. I was newer to the business. You were newer. I'm like, this is perfect. Let's get to know each other at the beginning. And I still think it's hilarious that you had that fear because I should have asked you, dang it. Now I'm mad. You would have
Honestly,
been good.
I probably would have said yes because I was wanting to be involved and get and do
Yeah.
stuff. And I'm sure like most things that I agree to, I don't generally regret doing it or I try to take a learning experience away from whatever that situation was. So I probably would have obviously learned something and I might even be grateful that I did it. Maybe I should have actually done it and I could have paid my dues, kind of like you, right? Like
Yeah.
that one
Yeah.
in, one out.
Yep. Yep.
So I'm really seeing a missed opportunity.
Yeah. I
And
am
this is
too.
just a statement now. This is not an open invitation for any of my children's active schools to reach out to me and ask me to be PTA president. The answer is no.
Well, I know the current one, so I'm going to text her. Tell her to tune into the podcast.
I'll have to think about how the title of the episode will change if that ever
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
happens. And that'll
Just
be a whole
kidding.
new first time experience.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Well, I would love to take you into another quick segment. This one's called, it's a little game that we're going to play with every guest, and it's called Commit or Cancel. Okay. It's super simple, low pressure. Uh, I'm going to rapid fire situations at you, and I would just like to know if you would commit to it or if you would cancel.
Okay.
Okay. You ready?
I'm ready.
Joining the PTA.
Commit.
Well, you already did. That one should have been
Yeah.
faster.
Well, I was like, is this a trick question? Okay.
Uh, Attending a meeting once a month.
Commit.
Okay. Helping plan one event. It's just one event.
Are we talking like currently right now?
Yeah, sure.
Cancel.
Oh, yeah, you've got graduation parties and prom and all that
I'm
sort of
already
fun
on
stuff.
events right now. Yeah.
That's fair. Would you commit or cancel to being in charge of a sign-up sheet?
Cancel.
How about being in charge of coordinating volunteers?
Cancel.
Running a meeting,
Commit.
okay? Speaking in front of a group of parents.
Commit.
Being the main point of contact.
Cancel.
What's that?
Filter through. Filter through.
Taking on a leadership role.
Anywhere.
Yeah, anywhere.
Work related. Kids related.
Uh, Let's go with kids.
Cancel.
Okay, let's go with work.
Commit.
Okay. You hear that, Hills Bank? She's ready to commit.
That's right.
Okay. Well, thank you for playing that. I mean, I feel like you actually really answered a lot of those kind of throughout just some of the questions that I
Yeah.
was asking naturally anyway. So I love seeing parents get involved, and everyone has their own skill set and brings their own unique perspective to the table. And some of us are Venmo parents and some of us are volunteer our time parents. It takes all kinds to make that system operate really well. That's going to take us into our last segment, and it's called This Is How We Do It. If you're familiar with this podcast, you know we talk about a topic every episode that I have firsthand experience with. My guest should have also some firsthand experience with. And because we have this firsthand experience, I'd like to leave a little plan for our listeners in case they've never been in this experience and they're maybe feeling some of those same thoughts of overthinking or anxiety. Here's what I've got for our listeners. If you find yourself in a situation where you're maybe being asked to step into a leadership role that you are maybe feel underprepared for, maybe you're fully prepared, but you have the anxiety of, am I going to do this right? How do I call a meeting to order? Right? First step for this is going to be just to stay in the moment. The future hasn't happened yet. I made up
Yeah.
this scenario in my mind that you were going to ask me something and it never even came to fruition. You don't need to prepare for conversations that haven't happened. Step number 2, you're always allowed to pause. So if someone does ask you to do something, it's absolutely okay for you to not answer right away and say, hey, I just need some time to think about this. Can I get back to you? Step number 3, not every opportunity is an obligation. Just because you get asked to do something and you could say yes, doesn't mean you have to. I once had someone tell me they wanted to be in a situation where if something was offered to them, they had the opportunity to say yes, but that also left the door open for them to turn it down if the timing wasn't right. And lastly, go in curious, not committed. So I had mentally committed to this situation that was going to happen. Again, thankfully that didn't. But I could have gone in curious, right? I could have gone in and said, well, what if she did ask me to do this? What are the pros? What are the cons? And you're just there to have a conversation at that time. You don't have to, again,
Mhm.
accept that role. With that little wrap up, Megan, do you have anything that you feel like you want to add to that just based on your own experiences?
Things that's helped me is and I literally bring this up in my head a lot before I go do anything, whether it's like a networking event. Those are kind of terrifying as well if you've never done them before. Everybody typically feels the same way. Even the most confident person that you think they don't have that issue, they do. Like if you talk to these people, they have the same feelings that you have about walking into something new. And I also try to tell myself, like, who cares? Like, if you mess up, who cares? And unfortunately, that comes with age. I wish I could instill that on my kids now, but I think it's just something that comes with age. But just know that everybody usually, there may be one off, but usually has the same feelings that you do.
I think it's that's actually great advice. I feel like that's a common misconception, maybe even about myself from some of my peers, because I definitely exude when I walk into a room that I feel comfortable there. But that's just a really good game face. Sometimes I don't feel that way. And also, I'm sure I'm going to share this podcast, obviously, with all of my listeners, my new listeners, my family, and my friends. And you know what? I love that you said that about trying to instill that with your kids, because
Mhm.
I try to do the same thing, and inevitably, they won't hear it from me. They'll
Yep.
hear it from you, and they're gonna come to me, and they're gonna be like, "Mom, Megan said the
Yeah.
most amazing thing today," and I'm gonna be like, "Of course she did."
Yeah. Even though you've said it a million times before. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, hopefully between the two of us today, one kid out there will take
Yep.
that
I
lesson.
hope so.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today. This has been super fun. And if you, as our listeners, have related to this, or you know someone who would relate to this, please share this with them. But also, if you have a topic that you think, you know what, I would love to hear Alex discuss this, send it in to me, and we'll take a look at that and see if we can't get that into the rotation. Every episode, we're always going to end with the same thing. Remember, awkward is fine, but we're going to do it anyway. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for listening, and we'll
So
see you
true.
next time. Hit follow, because in our next episode, we're embarrassing ourselves in a completely different setting.